It's time to break it all down with my panelists. Welcome to your Gameweek32 Premier League review. Welcome back to Global Arsenal. We have our irregulars in the channel tonight. Henry, how are you, brother?
I'm good. Thank you for having me again.
Are you really good, though? Because when we were speaking yesterday, it didn't sound good.
Yesterday was a therapy session. I think it got better. After that, just being with someone you can complain, about the situation. It just makes you feel better.
I agree with you, bro. And we also have Apachino in the channel. How you doing, my brother? Good to have you again, bro.
Well, this is foreign territory. Not say foreign territory. Yes, for me recently, I haven't won a game in a while. So, 3 points. This is how it feels. Wow, I've forgotten. Thank God for that.
Yeah, loving the Brazil kids. So basically, it's clear that you are going to support them in the World Cup now, since your country couldn't.
Oh no! This one is just for Argentina all the way. Since Nigeria is not there, Argentina. I'll be Celeste.
Nice. All right, guys. As always, we're back to the Game Week 32 review. What we do typically is to talk about all the games that were played in the Game Week. And as for my panelists to come with their opinions, and of course, we hear from the chat as well. We'll follow the usual agenda. Start with the Arsenal match review. Not looking forward to this, in all honesty, because I know in the last match reaction stream that me and Henry broke down. It was nice therapy session, as he rightly said, but it also be good to hear from Doye, who has a different opinion to ours. We look at our title rivals watch. Right now, we have only one title rival, which is Man City. Then the best of the rest. That's why folks like Doye coming into the picture, despite being defensive champions. Of course, we look at our surprise of the week, where my panelists will tell me what surprised them the most. We'll take a look at the injury and suspension watch, have a look at the table, and of course, move to our game with three predictions, where we see how good these guys are in predicting the future game weeks. So without further ado, I think we'll start with the Arsenal match review. And I think I'll start with you, Doye, here. This was a game where the Gunners really messed up in every sense of the word. Coming out the Carabao Cup loss to the FA Cup loss to the narrow win against Sporting CP, it looked like they were just peppering up the cracks. Was this result a surprise to you?
Yeah, Arsenal haven't played well recently, but it was still a surprise to me. I didn't expect, that they would hand the initiative, right back to City. Because one thing I do is I look at fixtures in games. Again, I'm a human being, and I know the players too are human beings, So when you look at the fixtures and you see, okay, City are going away to Chelsea, there's a bit of hope on the Arsenal end that something could happen here. So with that in mind, you're looking at it like if we sort out our own end early enough, we put pressure on City, they could falter. And had they done that and City faltered, right now we're talking about the title being almost wrapped. But unfortunately, that was not the case. So Arsenal going first, I felt like it was an advantage for them to, put the pressure on City. But unfortunately, they handed City all the initiative City needed to go out today, and stomp on Chelsea. So for me, it was a surprise. I didn't expect us again playing at home. If it were an away match, I have this belief that in the Premier League, when you're going away from home, anything can happen. I'm not surprised when any team goes away from home and something happens. But when you're playing at home and you're expecting to be crowned champions, these are the kind of games where you have to find a way to come out with 3 points, especially at this point in the season, given the position that Arsenal are. And when you look at it somehow, you can talk about the frailties in Arsenal, but they've pulled out some really difficult games recently, so I expected them to do the same.
Awesome. Ebuka, welcome. Good to have you on the channel again.
Look at Doye. Doye only comes when Liverpool lose. And Liverpool, unfortunately, this is they win only once so I guess we'll be seeing it just once every month.
Yeah, so I see Doye is wearing the Brazil jersey, you guys wearing the Argentina jersey.
He has completely denied Liverpool.
So Henry, it looks like we actually missed the memo. There's also an international jersey day, man.
World Cup is just how many months?
I agree with
I
you.
mean,
So, Ebuka, let's talk
point.
about some stats that were very interesting. I'd like to get your opinion on this. Declan Rice, 50 passes. David Raya, 49 passes. Ben White, Saliba, and Gabriel, 40 passes. The most passes in the Arsenal team against Bournemouth were basically at the back. Someone was saying something about how we tend to take so much risk at the back, but zero risk in attack. What's your take on Arsenal's performance, especially in defense, and how come their defensive play didn't work as they expected?
Um, I mean, so I kind of like saw it coming, right? And I would say I saw it coming because Ateta Ateta doesn't know how to go for the jugular, and as in it's just a thing about his managerial as in ability, right? As in just go for broke. He's there's still that conservative, you understand, approach in terms of his play, and that's why you can see as in the defenders, the goalkeepers, as in completing more passes because he is so risk averse. Ateta is not a manager that, okay, you know what, we are going to blow you out from the start. No, he's more kind of like conservative. Okay, you know what,
Control the game.
let's keep
Yeah,
it safe. Exactly, let's keep it safe. And as in at this point in the season, right? It's no longer about going. It's not about keeping it safe again. It's about it's either you die or we die. As in, at least something must happen today. I'm not keeping it safe. As in, bring out all weapons from the closet. You understand? So, and that's the thing with Ateta. He just plays it too safe, and that I would say is the problem. Like right there, that's the problem. You understand? Now, I understand also that in terms of quality up front, right? As in, especially if you're looking at as in yesterday's game. Not even, okay, let me never talk about quality up front. The season in general.
Yeah, I mean, poor from
How
attacking perspective.
many chances has Arsenal created from open play? Right? How many has been created from open play? And I don't know where Arsenal is in terms of when you're ranking those chances created from open
Yeah,
play. I don't know,
yeah.
but I
I
know,
think the
yeah,
last time I
Arsenal is
checked, we're like seventh or eighth. Either seventh or eighth.
so you can
Yeah.
imagine if you're not creating chances from open play, then as in when you have this sort of games where you just need to create chances, you just have to keep creating them. You just can't rely on set pieces all the time. Yeah, I know they've perfected the set piece as a part of the game, but you need to create chances from open play. You just need it. Zubimendi, oh my God. I think Zubimendi shouldn't be starting games. Like at this point, right? If Arsenal has all their players fit, just go
Yeah,
gung
Rice alone with
Rice, Eze,
Odegaard. Yeah, I
Odegaard.
agree.
Rice, Eze, Odegaard. You don't play safe
Yeah,
anymore. You just like, but it's what it is, right? I mean, it all started when I saw that lineup in the Carabao Cup final.
yeah,
Look, you guys have the game, and he's treating it as if it's like if he's won it before. Like the last time Arsenal won the League Cup was in 1993, and as in he didn't even take it serious. See, like
yeah,
all guns blazing. I mean, and literally that loss has basically just led to this loss of form up to this point. The only
yeah.
game Arsenal won was against Sporting, and it was a 90th minute goal. See, it all comes down to one game and one game only, and that's the game at the end. He had next week. The crazy part is City has just turned everything up, like as in they've put the burners up, like maximum hit level. 4-0 Liverpool, 3-0 Chelsea. Man, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how Arsenal want to do it, but I mean, it might just go down to goal difference, and if it goes down to goal difference, trust me, like Arsenal hasn't like as in basically
Scored enough.
outscored opponents
Yeah,
by that much goals this season, and
yeah,
it
yeah.
comes down to goal difference, right? I just
Yeah, and
think
because going into this game, Arsenal led City with 6 goals, plus 38 plus 82, but now it has come down to 3 goals.
Is this?
exactly,
I
and
think
City
it's.
just
I think
went
it was
like
four.
No, no,
I think I saw.
no, no, 38 and 32 prior to kickoff. So
Prior
and
to
now it's
kickoff.
not 38
Now,
and
as in
35.
boom. So you can
Yeah.
see. So right now, what's happening? It's down to next week.
Yeah, pretty
That's it.
much, pretty much.
It's pretty much down to next week. And if Arsenal gets a draw in that game, I mean, it's then Arsenal's to lose.
Awesome, awesome.
But if City wins the
Yeah, it's a
game,
game over.
It's not good,
it's
but it's,
literally game over.
just sorry, just to kick back. You understand? Again, one thing I don't like to is I don't really like analyzing football from the front to the back. Let's talk about it, from the back. And then this is how Arsenal have been playing all season, and this is what has gotten them to where they've gotten. I just want to because Ebuka talked about going gung ho. I'll take you back to the year that Brendan Rodgers lost the title to City.
Guy, that's Liverpool,
No, no,
man.
no. Just listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. That season, Liverpool were very, very entertaining. They were end to end. The handbrakes were off. Suarez was on fire.
Yeah.
Sturridge was on fire.
Sterling,
Gerrard was,
Sturridge, yeah.
Sterling, Coutinho. They were all balling. When Liverpool hosted Chelsea, with 3 games left to go, and they ended up losing the game. The criticism that Brendan Rodgers faced was, why didn't he have the handbrake on in that game? All you needed was a draw. Why are you still going gung ho? Now, so again, you've had if Ateta went gung ho and then they got caught up.
What's that thing they draw?
No, no, no. What I'm just saying simply is it's a game of football. You understand? You have your identity.
No.
You don't change your identity this late in the season. It rarely ever happens. You don't change your identity this late in the season.
And that's the reason why Arsenal might just scored second four times in a row.
Yeah.
Just because
I don't believe it's the identity, anyways, because the identity has them where they are, and then
okay, then what is
you can talk about complacency and some other things, but I don't believe it's the identity. Arsenal defense first is what got them where. It's what got them where they were.
Yeah,
They can move on. No problem.
Yeah, I actually agree with you. But Henry, let's just talk a bit about Bournemouth. Everyone has been all about how Arsenal has not done well, yada. Bournemouth on their own actually came to play football. Like, if you watch the game critically, you will see that Bournemouth side did not keep a low block like every other team you expect to see when you play against Arsenal, especially away. So you as an Arsenal fan, seeing how they played and seeing how they got the 3 points ahead of us, what was your thought on Anthony Iarola's team's performance?
Like I said yesterday, I think Arteta was taken back to the tactical school. I think he was basically schooled yesterday. And I think Iraola basically copied the tactic Guardiola used in the second half of the Carabao Cup final. Normally, you would expect Bournemouth to sit back, especially when they come to the Emirates. But I think if you look at the last games between Southampton and the Carabao Cup, what they did was they tried to press the centre backs, and we have seen that if you do that to Arsenal, they keep giving ball back to Raya, and we have no out ball. And then when Raya goes long to Gyökeres, it's basically a waste of the game because Gyökeres can't hold the ball up.
Yeah.
So I think that's what Bournemouth did, and they realized they had a better chance of winning the game than sitting back and then trying to counter attack. So I think Arteta needs to, and I heard about two analysts saying that I think this is going to be the blueprint for Arsenal going forward in the next 7 games. I think teams will try and exploit Arsenal in that way, in the same way that Guardiola did in the second half, and in the same way that Bournemouth did. So I don't expect teams right now to sit back that much, except if we're going away to, I think, West Ham. And then the rest games, I think they're kind of mid-table games. So this is exactly what Arsenal should be expecting. If Arteta has it in him to find a way out, I don't know. I personally don't think that he's tactically adept enough to find a way, to play out, because it looked on that day, Iraola looked like the team knew exactly what they wanted to do. And if you look at Arsenal on the other side, basically it was like high school boys just coming together for the first time to play a game. There was no tactical input of any sort. We can blame personnel from, he put the handbrakes on. I don't think it wasn't really handbrakes for me personally. I feel like tactically, Arsenal are not really up there. if you look at it critically. We have just a particular way of playing all season long. Um, Albeit it has gotten us to where we are right now. But I personally don't see a difference. Like I said yesterday, I don't see a difference between this Arsenal of this season and the Arsenal of last season. We're pretty much very close to the same points tally that we had last season. It was just that Liverpool were better. And if any team were a bit more consistent than what Arsenal has given this season, they will be top and by margin. So I think I said yesterday, I think Arteta has been found out. We struggled last season, and this season we're struggling again. And what we're seeing on the pitch with the key players for Odegaard, Saka, the same way they've been found out is the same way the manager has been found out. And we're just lucky that we had set pieces to rely on this season. Otherwise, it would have been a completely shambolic season. But we're where we are right now, and any manager that is smart, that is tactically adept, will find a way to win these next 6 games. And that's the only way you get the title.
Okay, fair enough. So, do you, there was so much talk in the media about how they're not feeding your carers enough, the other. Yes, he scored the penalty. But in that same game, there were 2 big chances that he were created for him. The cross, where he did it as Adam Smith's body. And of course, that was like Gabriel Jesus gave him to his left, he got the ball to his right, and, played it off. Has it been very evident that he hasn't been good enough? And do you think Arsenal needs to upgrade him with someone like Alvarez in the summer?
Okay. I think it's not going to be fair on him to just simply put it down to he hasn't been good enough, because when you look at the returns he's had this season, from all the big money signings, he's the one that has returned the most goals, actually. Now, my main issue with Gyökeres comes with his all-around play. What when you're not scoring, how else do you help the team? You understand? And it's been a problem for him all season. When you look at the Arsenal team, look, in previous years, the main, the focal point of Arsenal's attack used to be, I felt it was always Saka. Saka was the one that could consistently beat his player, push the defense back, get crosses, anti-break to his left, put balls and things like that, Saka's poor form is going to affect whoever is going to play as a central striker for Arsenal. Because when you look to the left, Trossard and Martinelli are not great creators. So if Trossard and Martinelli are not really great creators from the left, you don't have Saka in form from the right. You don't have Odegaard, whose form also regressed. He's no longer like a consistent final thought creator like Bruno. What he does is mostly in the middle of the park. You understand? You get
so recycles play.
Yes, and if he is not there, Eze has been in and out of the lineup. You understand? There's the service. You understand? It leaves a lot. You understand, to be desired when it comes to the service that Gyökeres is going to get. Now, I still have criticism about Gyökeres with respect to what he does off the ball and the kind of goals he scores. You have to create for him to score, and in a team that isn't even creating as much, it's going to be more evident. So it's not all his fault, but I believe that if you get a centre forward like Julian Alvarez will be very, very good, for the Arsenal team. The way he plays, the way he can drop deep and link up, it's going to be a massive upgrade on Gyökeres. So it's two-pronged. Will Alvarez make Arsenal, a way better team? Yes. But I'm not just going to come down and then bash Gyökeres because if you look at all of them, coming from a different league. Voltemade, he started out strong. He's struggling. Ekitike is hot and cold. What people like about him is when they look at the other parts of his game sometimes, he shows those flashes that I can do this, which Gyökeres doesn't have. Sesko was poor, now he's playing better. So from all of them, if you want to get
Sesko wasn't poor, it was Amorim.
he was irrespective of the system, Sesko himself, whenever Sesko found himself in front of goal to bury a chance, he was poor. He didn't take his chances initially. Amorim was not tying his leg. Amorim was not tying his leg. You can say that the player didn't have confidence.
Amorim was tying everybody.
Irrespective. Irrespective. He was poor. Now he's better. Listen. He was poor, now he's better. No problem. But my point is that if you want to look at in terms of actual productivity, from all the strikers that came into the Premier League new. Now we are removing Thiago because Thiago is like, that one, he's beyond almost all of them with regards to his production. But when you look at the big name strikers, it's going to be between Gyökeres and Ekitike, But Gyökeres has been the one that has delivered the most goals, and he's actually scored some big goals for Arsenal. So again, it's not all on him. Do Arsenal need more from the centre forward position?
Are
Yes.
you saying? Okay, hold on a minute. Are you
Can I
saying?
chip in?
I'm sorry. Don't go down. Okay, finish.
No. I mean, okay, no, before Henry chips in, maybe we can just share your thoughts.
Yeah. So are you saying Gyökeres and the Ekitike, right? That as in Gyökeres has actually been more productive than Ekitike in terms of goals?
But
Yes,
I think goes to games. I think Gyökeres has played more games than him, right?
And
I think Ekitike has more goals than Gyökeres.
As you take away the penalty goals from Gyökeres, what is left?
Gyökeres has how many penalty goals? Haven't it two or three? It's not much.
No, I think it's 5.
No, it's not up to 5.
I think
It's not up to 5.
No, it's not up to
It's not
5. No, it's not.
It's not up to
Definitely not up to 5.
Just Everton and Bournemouth. That's all.
Three
No?
penalty goals in the Premier League out of 12.
Yeah, he had one at the start of the season.
But you know that
Leeds.
Yeah.
you know that scoring penalty is also a skill. We've seen Mo Salah step up recently and two penalties.
Give the
It's a
penalties
skill now.
Give the penalties to Ekitike. Add the penalties.
If your life depended on it, and they asked you to give a penalty to Gyökeres or Ekitike, one person to convert that penalty, your life depended on who are you going to give the penalty to?
Guy, I'm not talking. We need to take this into context. I'm talking of Ekitike scores as in goals, like regularly, right?
So
Gyökeres, I understand he scores, but I don't like it when a player who's not taking penalties is being compared to another player who takes penalties, and most times the player who takes penalties goals is being added. You understand, to the goals.
So right now, Gyökeres has 30 games and 12 goals with 3 penalties, while Ekitike has 28 games and 11 goals with no penalty.
Gyökeres has 30 games.
Yeah.
He's missed only 2 games. I thought he was injured for a period.
No. When he got injured, it was during the international break. So it kind of added to the time. Yeah.
You can't compare. Ekitike has blown Gyökeres out in terms of as in performances this
Again,
season.
like I said, it's because of the flashes. Ekitike has shown more flashes than Gyökeres. I'm not going to dispute that fact. But what I'm saying to you, and that's what I'm saying, everything outside the goals, that's where you look at Ekitike and like, okay, this guy, he's young, his age, he's shown a bit more flashes, in the games than Gyökeres. But when you look at the actual productivity, you understand, it's much closer. I'm not talking about potential now. The actual productivity on the pitch, it's much closer.
In terms of outputs, yeah.
How is it closer? How is it closer?
Yeah,
Gyökeres has played way more games than Ekitike now.
Just 2 games. Just 2 games, though. Just 2 games, actually.
Let's look at minutes played.
Gyökeres gets subbed off a lot to Ekitike also. We can come back to that later. Let's keep moving on. We can come back to that later. We'll check it.
So Henry, do you want to chip in? You asked a couple of things.
I wanted to say something. So I think with the Gyökeres thing, I don't know. It's a bit of a difficult situation, right? If you look in respect to what Arsenal has been doing so far this season, it's kind of hard to criticize him that much, like Appa said. On the other side, if you look at Liverpool, they've not been really great for the season. But I think if you're a striker, you would rather want to be in a Liverpool team than be in an Arsenal team for a striker, because I feel like they create more chances in open play than Arsenal.
Yeah,
however, if you look at Gyökeres as a package, right? His goals are mainly one-dimensional. It's the same type of goals every now and then. It's difficult. Like, you know what to expect from him. You know what to get. It's not like you get a game against City and he just picks up the ball halfway line, beats 2 players. In a game that we barely create anything, and bang, a goal. You will never see that happen. you don't expect that from Gyökeres. And the season that we have so far, the way we look right now as a team, that's exactly what we're looking for. And I think Julian Alvarez is probably closer to that than Gyökeres would ever be. So I mean, it's a matter of if we're going to keep on playing like this, then I think we should just go for Alvarez next season, then because we know Gyökeres is not going to deliver more than what he has given us so far.
Oh yeah. So just before we leave here, Jokeres has played 1,990 minutes and Eketike has played 1,810 minutes. So Jokeres has 100 minutes more than Eketike.
It's so
Okay, so
close,
let's
man.
go. Yeah, it's still very close. So let's go to our title rivals. And obviously we have just one on this list, which was the Man City game. Obviously, in the first half, Cucurella scored that goal that was rolled out, and I didn't even have my hopes raised up in this game. And I think I'll start with you, Doye, on this. Was it evident from how Chelsea played that City was certainly going to get the victory in the game?
No, for the first 45 minutes, the game was evenly poised. The game was evenly poised. Chelsea found themselves in some dangerous positions. Donnarumma came up with some smart saves. The Cucurella offside was really tight. Again, it's a
Yeah.
game. It's inches. It goes inches this way. Chelsea going to the break 1-0 up. You come into the second half. City now have it all to do. The game can change and it can swing. So now, up until before Chelsea, before City got the okay, so before City got the first goal, I'll admit that when the second half started, City cranked up the pressure a bit, and it's you started,
Yeah.
you started seeing the game gradually drift away from Chelsea. So I'm not going to say it's when the goal entered that the Chelsea crumbled. Before the goal entered, City were already knocking on the door, and then they sustained it. You understand all through. But in the first half,
Mm-hmm.
Chelsea did really really well. I'm going to give City kudos for a professional performance because we've seen City this season recently go go ahead and let teams back in the game. That's how they drew to Spurs. When Spurs got one, City were all over the place. Um, that's how they drew
Nottingham
to
Forest also.
Nottingham Forest also. So for them to go to a team like Chelsea, you get the first goal, still keep on stepping on their necks, get the second one, still keep stepping on their necks, and get the third one. It was a hallmark of a bit of growth. You understand that City showed recently from when they played Arsenal, the way they played against Arsenal, the way they played against Liverpool. It was good to see
Mm-hmm.
for City fans. It's been good to see for City fans because playing like that, you believe they can go into any ground and get results. But for the rivals, not so much. But I believe that
Awesome.
Chelsea were in the game up until the second half.
Okay. So, Henry, your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, I think Doye just pretty much took the words out of my mouth. First half was a bit more even. Second half was just City all through. Guardiola, they went a gear extra in the second half, and Chelsea had no solutions, and just shows exactly the difference right now on the table between where Manchester City are as a club, as a team, and where Chelsea are currently also in the Premier League. But I think that if what we saw today, was as a result of what happened yesterday, I think if Arsenal had won that game, the pressure on City today would have been really, really massive, and I think we would have seen a different result. But the incentive was handed over to Man City today, and you can see they smell blood, and yeah, 3-0 is just um, exactly what they needed right now.
Yeah. So, Ebuka, this is just something that we are already aware of. Man City in April is a different beast. And time and time again, we're seeing them show this kind of form, and we all know where it ends up. Argentina win another Premier League trophy. From the current projections, where Arsenal's form is looking and how Man City is burning up, as you rightly said, how much, how was the word to use? How much more, how much pressure right now are they piling on Arsenal, and do you think Arsenal is going to cave in?
Like I said, it comes down to the game at the Etihad. That everything just boils down to that game, and that's where I am gonna literally say, as in the title would be won or lost, the game at the Etihad. However, there was a question I was asking myself as in at the turn of the year when City were kind of like not playing so well, and my question was, why isn't Ryan Cherki starting? Like, Ryan Cherki is literally the last pure breed of the playmakers. Like those playmakers that you don't give them the you don't tell them to track back or defend or just let them do their thing. Pass for Gehi's goal. That I didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
I just did because so the best part was that I saw Matthew Nunes because I saw the game and I felt okay. Nunes was the only open option. The next thing, I don't know how we did it to Gehi. Boom, 2-0. Game over. Don't seal dusted. Even before that, the assist for Nico O'Reilly. I mean, next week, if I don't know, but if Arsenal wants to get the result, as in Arsenal just needs to nullify Ryan Cherki because he is something. He is something else. He's a genius. He's an absolute genius on the ball. For Chelsea, I mean, it's been rotten days for them, man. The way it looks. I mean, United is coming into town next week, and if Chelsea don't get the result, and other results, they might just find themselves in 10th position and completely out of Europe. Why they brought in Liam Rossini in the first place and they gave him a 5-year contract? Stupid. I don't understand that. I don't know what Liam Rossini has ever done in his career to actually get the Chelsea job. Right now, it's been shown that he is completely out of his depth. The management in Chelsea, the top brass have no idea what they're doing. It's basically player trading, buy players, sell them off at a profit, and that's it. So whatever is going on out there, we can already see some feelers out of that dressing room about as in players basically like talking up some stuff. Enzo Fernandez, Cucurella. I don't know, but no, it doesn't look good. And the way I'm looking at it, Chelsea definitely will be playing in the Champions League next season.
Yeah. So we have a couple of folks on the chat and the crew. Like shout out to you guys. A shame I couldn't join the stream to the world. Yeah, so Henry, speaking about Champions League, clearly Chelsea is currently on 48 points, four behind Liverpool. And of course, they have Brentford and Everton, and of course, Brighton actually in very close proximity to them. So, do you echo Ebuka's sentiment that they're certainly not going to make the Champions League this at the end of the campaign?
Yeah, given the fact that 5 teams are going to make the Champions League, and they are 4 points currently behind Liverpool. I think the top 5 stays the way it is. Chelsea have not shown enough in the last weeks to give me any sort of hope or confidence that they're going to make the Champions League. But football is again, if we're looking at the table 1 month ago before Arsenal went into that Carabao Cup final, I don't think anybody would be sat here saying City would look odds on to win the Premier League. So there's a lot of football still to be played. I think 7 games left. Anything can happen in these 7 games, especially in the Premier League. So it wouldn't be fair to completely write off Chelsea right now, but it's not looking good for them. That's just what I'm going to leave it at that.
Okay. Do you have a different opinion?
No, I actually I looked at the fixtures because I was actually worried for Liverpool, considering how they've been hot and cold, and then. But when I looked at the fixtures, that Chelsea has, they're playing Manchester United next. That game suddenly becomes almost like a must-win game for them and everything. So when I look at the fixtures, Chelsea have a couple of difficult fixtures still to come. Liverpool actually do, but the two teams are playing so poorly right now that it's a case of even if Liverpool slip up here and there, will Chelsea be able to pick up
Points to
enough
catch up.
points to, yes, to catch up, because the two of them are actually so bad this period, you get. And when you look at the makeup of both squads, irrespective of how poorly Liverpool have played, I just believe that Liverpool have superior quality to Chelsea. They have more seasoned options. When it's Isak back, Ekitike, Isak, there's Salah. Even despite how poorly he's played, I still believe that Salah is still a better option on the wings than maybe a Garnacho or a Neto.
Wow.
The kind of people
Yeah.
that Chelsea have in those positions. You get. Liverpool still have Van Dijk, who is still doing his bit at the back. The only worry there is just for the coach, to swallow his pride and then try and stick with Robertson, for the remainder of the season. And I think Liverpool should be able uh, should be able to sneak in fifth. I wouldn't be surprised if someone else, because if Liverpool play Everton next, if Everton get a result against Liverpool, I'm not going to be surprised if Everton actually creep up. If they're going to be 3 points behind Liverpool, you understand? So we are at the point whereby the person that may challenge for the top five may not be Chelsea, but it will be someone else that comes in and then knocks up Liverpool. Because I think Manchester United and Aston Villa are almost safe.
Oh yeah, so that's what we're about to come to before we change our slides. Ebuka, Aston Villa, although we'll get to their section shortly, but they are still having that bad run of form. Do you think they might actually be the ones to come out to be replaced by Chelsea?
Nah. I mean, the point gap is already 7 points, right? I mean, yeah, 7 point gap, Aston Villa and Chelsea, and um, Chelsea is playing. I mean, it's been a poor season by all standards. It's been a very, very poor season. And that was the reason why I was a fuck Ruben Amorim wherever he is. I was a fuck him. So it's been a very poor season. Villa should be comfortable. They should be comfortable. They should be able two more wins, and I probably see them securing the top five place.
Okay.
It's gonna be between Chelsea, Liverpool, and as in any of those teams in the seventh and eighth position that might just sneak up on them. But I mean, it's all about consistency. And do they have that consistency? Liverpool will see it out. That's what I see. Liverpool will definitely see it out.
Okay. So now let's go to the best of the rest, and then I think we'll start with Thiago and his exploits, in Brentford. So Henry, Thiago has now hit the record of being the first Brazilian to score 20 goals in his first full season at the Premier League. And we all know that this guy came on as the replacement for Ivan Toney when he was about to leave the club before he had a long-term injury that kept him out of the side. And when he came back, Jan Wisha was in very good form. How good of a player has he been for Brentford? And do you think he can replicate this next season?
I think if you look at history, I think Brentford, they've been known to produce. I don't know how the team works, but they kind of create chances for their strikers. I think from Tony, from Visa, Mbomo, and now Igor Thiago. So I think it's something going on in Brentford. They have this habit of creating chances for their strikers. If he would be able to replicate this next season, it's questionable. I think it's a matter of time. I've seen a lot, in my 20 odd years of watching the Premier League. I think we've seen a lot of strikers, have a couple of, you know, one season wonder from Michu to Negredo and whatnot. So I think
To
it's too early
Musala.
to. Well, he
No,
was
no,
he
no,
was
wait,
called a one season wonder, but I think that's it is quite obvious,
Okay,
that
okay.
that is a world class talent. But
Uh,
yeah, I think he's had a good season so far. If he would be able to replicate that next season, it's just a matter of time. We wait and we see how he does next season. But for now, we can give him the credits, the accolades, and whatnot. He's had a fantastic season so far. I think maybe aside from Haaland, I think he's probably the best striker in the Premier League so far.
okay. Ebuka, Is Kate Andrews a contender for manager of the season based on what he has done at Brentford? Bearing in mind that they lost Frank, lost Mbeumo, lost Noga, lost Wissa as well as key players.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, definitely you can't take that away from him. I mean, when Wissa left, when Bumo left, when Nogard left, when Flecken left, and as in Thomas Frank left, I mean, everybody had Brentford in their relegation contenders, and but as in what he has done there to see them fighting for Europe. For me, I think he's the PFA manager of the year. Like it happens, Brentford up there in seventh position, as in he got Thiago as in scoring as much goals as he has. He's just one goal behind the top goal scorer Haaland. And if he probably gets to win the Golden Boot, that's like I don't know what I'll say, man. Like if he wins the Golden Boot, but kudos to Kit Andrews, whom and Brentford, as in is a solidly well-run club, right? Everything it's almost like every decision that's taken there is like perfect. So yeah, for me, Kit Andrews, PFA manager of the year.
Okay, so Dwayne, let's talk about your rivals, Everton. In attack, they've struggled with Beto and Barry, trying to find the right balance between the two of them. But Beto managed to, score the goal to equalize before Kenan Disbury Hall, scored the winner. How much of an impact player has KDH been for them? Bearing in mind that when he came from Leicester to Chelsea, they were high hope for him with Maresca, but he just couldn't cut it there. And now under Moyes, he looks like a player reborn. Same thing that happened with Jack Grealish, even in TIA. Since Moyes replaced Sean Dyche, do you think he has taken Everton to a level where they can play their prime, or do you think they just peaked at where they are right now?
Well, the thing with Everton is Everton. They're a very ambitious football club. They've actually moved to a new stadium. They in the 80s, they were contending for league titles and things like that. And then, the Everton supporters, there was you have heard before where they talk about, had Liverpool not caused, according to them, the ban of English teams from going to the Champions League, maybe they could have snuck in the Champions League trophy in that
Yeah,
period because they were actually very good. So yeah, it's a very very how I put it, the team. Everton in general, they're very, very ambitious, but that's where their problem usually starts. When they get to this point, when they want to take the next step, they find themselves, you understand, back close to the relegation zone. But with David Moyes, I think it's just almost like the homecoming, the perfect pitch. This was where he actually coached his best football with these kind of players. They were not fantastic players, but they were players that he managed to get the best out of. KDH has been very, very instrumental for them. I didn't see these attacking outputs from him, and it's very surprising. And when you have a midfield player like him that can get goals, you have Iliman Ndiaye, who's one of the better players outside the traditional top five. He's one of the better
yeah,
players in the Premier League, playing really well. It, the emergence of Beto has just really solidify the Everton team. We know they're going to be a handful defensively. That is their trademark. But now they have players in attack that can cause you problems and then bring goals. So again, kudos to Moyes, kudos to Gisbury Hall for really, really stepping up. He's played very, very well. I think Everton they, they they may end up sneaking into Europe. It's a real possibility when you look at it. If you're hard to score against, and you have players that can win you games, you're always going to be in certain games against certain kinds of opponents. So kudos to Everton. They're doing really well. I'm not really happy that they are where they are because they can sometimes they're annoying, but yeah, kudos to them.
I agree. Nice one. Okay, so Henry, initially there was a period when Fabio Hosseler was under pressure with Brighton losing 4 of their last 5 games. But after that loss to Liverpool in the FA Cup, they kind of picked form. They beat Brentford away, they beat Nottingham Forest at home. They had a narrow loss to Arsenal, then beat Sunderland away, beat Liverpool at home, and now they've beaten Bournemouth. Burnley away, which means that in their last 6 games, they've had 5 wins. What has been the turning point in the squad to see them now pick up this good run of form?
Again, like I said, football. It's difficult to to predict what happens. If we look in the before the last 6 games, they had probably 4 losses in 6, and
Yeah,
they picked up a win against Brentford against the odds, and the confidence that they got from that win, gave them the momentum that they have now going forward.
yeah,
They lost that game to Arsenal, but I feel like that was a game that they created a lot of chances, but they were just not able to convert the chances they had in that game. They played very well, but the momentum that they've had, from 2 wins in a row, was still good enough to see them, pick up 3 wins now on the trot. And
yeah,
I think they're looking really odds on, to finish in European sports, considering the way Chelsea are kind of wobbly right now. So it's definitely going to be an interesting last 1 month or 5 6 weeks to the end of the season so far. But I think for Brighton, it was just a matter of confidence. They started the season really well, played some good football, but again, it's usually a theme with Brighton over the years. No matter who has managed them, they always seem to start well. They have this period where they lose form. I think it's a matter of expectations and reality for them. They don't really invest much in terms of bringing in players. They go look for young talents, and again, these are the problem with getting young, unproven talents. There's always this wave of form. Some days you look really good, some days you're not up to the level. And I think that's reflective of what Brighton are as a club. They're not really interested in investing so much money into the club. However, I give it to their recruiting team. I think they're one of the best in terms of bringing in players to the Premier League. But if you want to take that next step to consistently finish in European sports, you definitely have to invest some sort of good money into the club. But again, for them, good run of form, and hopefully they're able to maintain it up until the end of the season.
all right. So Ebuka, they sold João Pedro for some good money, and they bought the likes of Charalampos, Kustulas, and Stefano Zimas. These are relatively unproven Greek players. Even give Zimas number 9 jersey. And of course, they have Diego Gomez and Yasin Ayari that has already been playing for them. So these youngsters that Henry has been talking about, do you think they have done enough to get to the point where they can be sold for top dollar? Because we all know that Brighton has always been churning up young lads to make money out of them. But this new batch of players they have, do you think they're in that same category?
Nah, they haven't. And sometimes there's this mistake Brighton also makes. Uh, they kind of like sometimes hold to players for so long, as in that when their values have kind of like,
Dropped.
or not their values, but when their form kind of like drops, then the value drops
Okay,
with them.
so case in point,
For the
Baleba.
names, Baleba,
Yeah,
Mitoma, Evan Ferguson, you understand? These were players that at the point in time, it was, I think, probably Moses Caicedo was the one that was sold that has been very, very like profitable amount. Even Bissouma, there was a time Bissouma was supposed to go for 50 million, but at the end of the day, he went to Spurs for 25
They
million.
sold also
So
Kukureya now for
they,
good money.
yeah, they also sold Kukurea for good money. Yeah, but most times, like most of the players that they have, right, they just kind of like they don't know how to strike a bargain, as in compared to like the likes of Brentford, who would okay, you know what, okay, this player is at his absolute peak, and let's get go.
cash
Those
in.
plan names a little bit longer, and then when they are formed those nosedives, the value nosedives with them. You understand? The players which you just mentioned now, I mean, they've not actually come up with anything yet. So I think it's just loan deals. They're going to put them on loan and probably later to sell them. But for Brighton, I think they need to get better at like selling those players, especially when, as in, their form and values at the peak.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, Dwayne, would you regard Burnley as a classic waste of time in the Premier League this season because obviously when you're getting relegated, right, the kind of form you're expected to show, like what
I
Wolves is
like,
doing.
I love the way you put it. Classic waste of, like complete waste of space in the
Because,
Premier League.
because I'm looking at the results and I'm like just seeing red, 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 red. Like what the bloody hell, man? What was the
I
point
One
feel
of
like
giving
win,
them?
one
I
win in
feel
their
like
last 23 games.
You know,
They are winless in their last 12 home matches.
I feel like
I
Wolves.
They,
again, well, look, we expected Burnley to go down, but look, this year in the year 2026, they've taken points off Manchester United and Liverpool. Dented both teams at a point. It looked like they were denting both teams' ambition for top four, top five. So you're calling them a waste of time per se when you've done this level of quote unquote damage. 2 points off Spurs before we knew Spurs were going to be what they were. They were poor, but still, yeah, they've done a good job. They even 2 points off Chelsea. So
yeah,
for everything that you're accusing them to be, their last four draws, in the Premier League, the last four draws outside the win at Palace were Bournemouth, Chelsea,
Chelsea.
Liverpool, and Manchester United. So
that's the reason why we should go
yeah,
down.
so at the end of the day, they are what they are, and then if you're not careful, you go and you play Burnley, they can be a handful at any point in time. At least they are not losing um 5-0, 4-1. Even the game they lost to Brighton was they could have gone in front. It was competitive. If you check the game, they had some goals that were ruled out. I think two goals for
Yeah, they
Oh,
thought
yeah, against
they
Brentford,
offside.
yes,
yeah.
so
Yeah.
yes, against Brighton, two goals were ruled out for offside, and so that's the point I'm trying to make. Against Liverpool, you remember in the first leg, it took a late goal for Liverpool to beat a late penalty from Salah to beat Burnley.
19,
Yeah,
That could have been
same with the late penalty for Man United at Old Trafford as well,
yeah,
actually.
yeah. So at the end of the day, this is six matches whereby you already see that kind of quote unquote fight from a team that is already relegated. So kudos to them. They don't despite everybody saying when you look at the table, that yeah they're almost going down. But if you don't have your A game on against Burnley, they can still just cause it to slip up.
Okay, fair enough. So Henry, with Burnley certainly going down, are there any players within that team you think can come back to the Premier League and still light it up? Like back in the day when Norwich are going down, you can say, okay, if someone buys the Mupuki, at least they can get maybe 10 Premier League goals, that kind of stuff. Is there anybody in Burnley right now that you think can actually make it back in the Premier League or elsewhere? I don't know, Ebuka and Doye, you're thinking of what you're going to answer, but I'll need to get your thoughts on this as well.
I think Liverpool can go for Kai Walker since they have currently issues with the right back. But jokes aside, I think they should go down with the players they have. I don't see any. They made a couple of signings this season, which they've been really underwhelming. Leslie Ugochukwu, for example, has
Amanda
been
Broha, yeah.
Amanda. I feel like Chelsea are into some sort of money laundering scheme. How do you sell
Of
bro for
course,
that
bro,
amount of money?
they are. That's the reason why you can see them like as in what happened in their last as in quarterly PSR review filing details where they were given a ban. Bro, see, later some things we still uncover. The player trading FC. That's what is just happening there.
Okay,
Nothing
so
else.
Doye, any player that comes to
Yeah,
mind in the Burnley squad that can potentially do well?
you know,
No?
not no one with respect to when you talk about the top clubs. When I watch Burnley, I think it's just the Anthony guy, the guy that plays from the wings. He's like not really at the top level, but he can be a squad player for somebody. I saw that they even have James Ward-Prowse. I think that one should either
No, no, he's
what they
on
call it.
loan.
That's what I'm saying. That one he should follow them to relegation. He should not even stay in the Premier League.
What Prowse?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
He
yeah.
should follow them.
He's
See
looking to
from
break
the
the Premier League free kick record, though.
They should go to the champion. Because no, because the only thing you can do with Prowse is if the Premier League allows multiple substitutions, where you have a free kick, he comes in, he takes a free kick. After the free kick, he goes out. Then you play the football. Then there's free kick again. He will come in and play the free kick because that's like the only thing. When you talk about that's the only thing is it was a disaster at West Ham. I was laughing when West Ham went for James Ward-Prowse. It was a disaster.
Yeah.
I think as
Who comes to mind?
For me, I
Okay,
think
Harry.
if Coventry are going to be promoted, right, I think Coventry should probably go for someone like Zian Fleming. I think he's a decent striker. I think he's quite decent, like especially his aerial ability. Zian Fleming is a good one, and then like Jaden Anthony. Those are the only two players I would say, yeah, as in Burnley could go for. Probably Florentino Luis, not based on what he did.
I was thinking of Luis. That guy is quite good as a DM. But for some
Yeah.
reason, I don't know why he's taking up the place in Burnley.
No. See, there are sometimes when as in a manager just can't get the best from his players, and I think that's something about Scott Parker. Scott Parker is just a championship manager. He definitely can't cut it at Premier League level. That's Scott Parker for you. I can remember what he did at Fulham. As in, basically, Fulham was a yo-yo club under
Even
Scott
Bournemouth
Parker,
too.
right? And then, yeah, exactly. And then Bournemouth, as in, so Marco Silva came in after Scott Parker left, stabilized Fulham. Fulham became a Premier League club. Bournemouth, Scott Parker, yo-yo club. Gary O'Neill came, stabilized them. I think Burnley probably stick with Scott Parker next season. Once they get to the Premier League, you gotta let him go and get somebody else to do something and see how probably if they can remain like a Premier League club. Because Scott Parker is the yo-yo man.
Awesome. Okay, so let's go to the next game. Doye. Okay, this is your own game. You managed to get a good victory against Fulham.
The only time he comes on the podcast is when
That's actually untrue, but let's keep on.
No, I've noticed it. If you don't know, I'm telling you the pattern I've seen.
Let's.
Yeah, but prior to this Fulham win, Liverpool's form hasn't really been good. Talking about losses to PSG, Man City, Brighton, Galatasaray. Yeah, they got the that's right. They should lost to Wolves. So, are you still in the opinion that Klopp should retain his job at the end of the campaign, or would you want
Klopp or Slot?
Klopp should. Wait, now he's speaking. He's speaking something into existence now. And I'm like, okay, please.
Yeah. So as a Liverpool fan, how has it been? Bearing in mind that you won the Premier League, you had to defend your title, but this has been a very terrible campaign in all standards.
Okay. I'll put it like this. The thing with the Premier League is a copycat league, in the sense that when most managers in the Premier League are actually not dumb. Most managers in the Premier League are actually smart to an extent. They watch what works for others, and before you know, they adapt. Yes, and that is part of the worry now. Sorry to digress, for Arsenal fans, because of how teams are setting up against Arsenal recently. It's not like they are not pressing them aggressively. They are sort of letting the defense have the ball and see what the defense can do with the ball. And it's shown that it's a problem. It's a new problem for Arsenal. When the season started, teams were defending very, very deep. If you remember, and Arsenal were like on there. Teams were the game, the way teams play against Arsenal has changed. Same thing with Man City. It's like Pep has found something with Bernardo Silva, Rodri. In midfield, Rodri is beginning to pick up Cherky, Doku, and Semenyo. That works for him. You understand? He's found something. Teams will now have to try to figure it out. And when one person figures it out, the ones that follow, we will copy the blueprint. So now it's up to you to keep on tweaking and tweaking and tweaking. When they adjust, you adjust. When they adjust, you adjust. Now, I say that to say this. When Slot came into Liverpool newly, the team went on a magnificent run up until December of his first year. From that point up until today, he hasn't adjusted. And teams have started to, they found Liverpool out, but Liverpool were able, because of the quality, you're able to steal, and Salah's crazy form, you're able to still pick up enough results, you understand, to get you over the line. But where it dawned on me was the the Carabao Cup finals against Newcastle was very poor. If you go back and watch the Carabao Cup finals last season, it looks very similar to what you're watching this season with Liverpool to an extent. If you watch the PSG game first leg last season, it looks very similar to what you're watching this season with Liverpool. What happened? Teams were pressing Liverpool in a way whereby the outlet was when you play the ball, when you zip the ball to Gravenberch, he feels the pressure and he turns away from the pressure. When he turns away from the pressure, that's your initial press. He's beating that player, and he there's open space. He likes to drive with the ball. He drives. He has one or two players commit. Before you're out of shape, he can release the ball. Liverpool can hurt you. However, since no longer press Gravenberch again, they let him have the ball. It's now a problem for Liverpool. The issues we're having in defense, it's not necessarily the four at the back. It's the midfield in front of the four at the back, the midfield three. How they try to mark space. Their spatial awareness, leverage is very poor. They don't understand leverage. There are times whereby, somebody's with the ball, somebody's making a run behind, you just have to adjust the beats to cut out that run. Let him go side or let him go back. Those kind of little things are things that for some reason, they are not able to grasp that concept. Slot has not been able to figure it out. So basically, after his initial 5 months that were brilliant, Liverpool have been in this sort of cycle. When the season started, our first 5 games we were poor, but we won. And it has sort of just kept on, the way they played is almost the same across the whole season. The coach
Yeah.
hasn't really done much to help the players. Rather, his last game now, when you saw Rio Ngomoa play, you understand, he's one of the few players at Liverpool that can take control on one. We don't have it. You
Yeah,
understand?
1v1.
Diaz was able to do that last season for us. Rio can't do that, and that's why I didn't mind Diaz leaving, because when I watched Rio Ngomoa in the preseason, Diaz, I said, okay, that means maybe they want to give this boy a bit more game time from the bench. However, that has not been the case. It's a problem. You look at the coach's insistence on playing what they call him Kekes at left back. When you watch Robertson, the games Robertson has played this season, for some reason, the defense looks a bit more settled. Because when you have a nut case in Konate in the middle, you have one in Kekes on this side of Van Dijk, it's a problem. Mistakes, people start panicking and things like that. You need players that make as few mistakes as possible because of how the team, you understand, is playing, and the morale within the team right now. Everybody's playing poorly. When one goal goes in, there's panic. When you're playing very well, one player makes a mistake, there's panic. You don't need those things. Robertson should be playing at left back. He's a better left back than Kekes right now. He should be playing. Stick, what do you call him? Frimpong. You brought him to play right back. Let him play them. If you watch it again, he also has 1v1 ability. And Gomor has 1v1 ability. It helps the team. But for some reason, the coach is, look, the guy, I think he's out of his depth. And one thing when you start knowing that this coach needs to go, when you watch his pressers, when his press conferences, when there's a hint of delusion, or like in their pressers, okay, this one clearly he's confused, he should go. When you listen to some of the things, some of the excuses that Slot has made, you just know that, look, this guy, I was an advocate of giving him time and everything, but I feel like if you have a problem that has lingered for over a year, no top manager should have that kind of issue, you understand, linger for close to a year. If you saw it towards the end of last season, you should have addressed it in the summer. However, you went into the summer with the same midfield core, because irrespective of vets, it was still Gravenberch, McAllister, and Soboslai, a combination of two of them that were going to play in the midfield. So for me, personally, understand, I feel like the coach, he did well. He won us the league title, but I feel like it's run its course. The management with Xabi Alonso are available. I don't know about his coaching philosophy. Now, if you don't want to go through at the back and things like that, you can leave Xabi Alonso. There are so many other managers that you can try to bring in and see how they can get the best out of this squad. Because
No, no, that prayer can never be answered. That prayer must not be answered. Xabi Alonso must never come to Liverpool because Enigma, Henry, if Alonso comes to Liverpool, we have turned to his chicken. He will farm.
Okay, so we have Jay in the extreme. Welcome, Jay. Jay
Oh,
is also a Liverpool fan as well. So Jay, you've already heard the news that Mo Salah is going to leave at the end of the season.
yeah.
How big of an influence has it been to you as a fan? And looking at how this campaign has progressed, do you think you should have let him go last season?
Well, yeah, for me, it mostly hurts me a lot more than the slot situation and also the Robertson one as well. Because in his prime, I've been watching Salah before he joined us in the when he was at Chelsea. We take him up and we turn him into a real goal scorer, and now he has delivered, winning golden boots. The only thing that he never won was the Ballon d'Or and all, but it's really going to be sad for him to be leaving us at the end of the season though. But yeah, I'm happy for what he has done in his career, and he will remembered at Liverpool and all. So we will always remember him indeed for what he has done for us in the past as well
Uh,
when he
Yeah,
was in his
but,
prime.
but but this season he has really struggled and even had that fight with slots prior to the African Cup of Nations. So now that it's been certain that he's about to leave the club, do you think he's going to play his best form, or do you think he'll still struggle the way he's doing right now?
Well, if Slot starts him more, indeed we have a second leg coming up this week Tuesday as well at home against PSRT. We need him for it as well to really bring us to the semis. Indeed, we will absolutely have to have a chance of winning. Give him his last trophy before he heads off, and indeed, and this is the chance for him to really show what he can do before we send him off and let
So
him
what
send
trophy,
his
bro?
No, no, but there's not that chance for Liverpool to win a trophy. You guys lost 4-0 to Man City and of course
There's
also
no trophy,
crashed out
bro.
to PSG. I don't
he's
think
talking
you
about the
really.
Champions League.
Champions League. Come on.
Okay.
Keep up.
Yeah. No, no, there's no chance of a trophy, Jay. I think you guys are actually done for the campaign till the end of the season.
Oh man, it's done, please.
Yeah,
There's no
yeah,
trophy.
yeah. You guys are done. Henry, let's talk about Fulham for a bit. They've always been a mid-table side, and it seems like this campaign is the same thing. Are there any other expectations for Marco Silva as a manager, or do you think it's just where they're going to be?
It's again, it's a matter of consistency. I think they would be disappointed that they've not been able to, consolidate or push for that European spot. But it's not like it's completely out of reach. But I think that again, reflective of where Fulham are as a team. Um, I think if I remember well, I think last season or season before last, um, they were also sitting around 10th or 11th position, and they had a game against CD. I think prior to that game, most of their players were already on holiday. I think there were about 3 or 4 games left to the end of the season, but they were literally on holiday. And I think it's reflective of where they are as a club, as a team. They are comfortable being a mid-table team, considering that in the past, they've been flirting with relegation and they've been like Ebuka said, they've been a yo-yo team. So for them right now, just surviving, being in the mid-table, um, they feel comfortable with that. But I think Marco Silva really wants to push for that European spot. But for that, you need backing. You know, in terms of
Finances
bringing in
and all.
quality players. But I don't think Fulham are right now in that position. I don't think they want that as a club right now. To push for that extra European spot.
Okay, so Ebuka, when they signed Kevin from Shakhtar in the summer, there was so much hype around him, and there's some expectations that came with that. But is it a case of him not just being selected enough to showcase his talent, or in the games he has played, did he prove to the manager that he was not good enough? Because he's currently a bench warmer at the squad.
So the thing is, like, that's the reason why Marco Silva. I'm not really a fan of Marco Silva. I don't think Marco Silva is that manager that gets as a top dollar or top value from the players he has available to him. You could see this with so many players who kind of like, okay, post Fulham, as in they actually kind of like play better at a certain level. The only player I would say okay is Harry Wilson, which and they are basically when most times when players are at the end of their contracts, they kind of like play their hell out. So they get that fat new contract, and the next thing they're like, okay, yes, I've gotten a new contract and I'm going back to bed. You understand? So which is probably what Harry Wilson is currently doing right now. Um Kevin, I still think there's a player there. Has it been utilized to the best of his ability? I'm not sure because Marco Silva is a manager who was you kind of like he doesn't give you a run of games. He doesn't. You could be playing and the next thing, boom, he takes you out like chopping, changing, chopping, right? So I would say it is for there are also so many other players that are at Fulham. Look at Chukwueze. He was doing well at the point, and the next day, okay, he went down the drain. Who
Now,
else?
Oscar Bob, they just signed Oscar Bob as
Yeah,
well.
Oscar Bob, as in you can see Timothy Castagna. He was last season, he was good this season, as in his dip. Anthony Robinson last season. It's the man. I think it's just on the manager. The manager doesn't know how to like keep those players performing at an optimal level for a very long period of time. And I just think that's one of the reasons why I don't really rate Marco Silva.
Okay, so to you as a Liverpool fan, Harry Wilson was someone that was in your ranks at some point in his career, but he didn't play as much as expected at Anfield before going to Fulham, and he has played 5 campaigns for them right now. And this is how his numbers look. His first season at Fulham, 11 goals, 20 assists. Second season, 3 goals, 3 assists. Third season, 5 goals, 9 assists. Fourth season, 6 goals, 1 assist. And now 11 goals, 7 assists. Do you think he'd have been a capable backup to Mo Salah? Or was it okay when he left when he did?
It was okay for him to leave when he did. He was a kid. You understand? He was a kid. He was never really going to get. At that point, he had a fantastic left foot.
Yeah,
When
but he
I
left
think he
at
said.
he left at 24 though. So you call him a kid at 24?
So that's what I'm saying. So yeah, no, but again, at that point in time, at 24, when he was leaving, you understand, he still wasn't even getting serious game time. How do you develop when you
Yeah.
don't the game time? Salah is going to start every game. You understand where I'm coming from. So if you want a backup for a Salah, someone like
Okay. Yeah, I think
for
we're struggling with his network. Yeah.
you know hear me.
Is it just is it just me?
No, I think I didn't. I
No,
can't
no,
hear
no,
him
it's not
also.
just you. Mm.
Sorry, Doye, you're really having challenges with your network. Do you want to come? Oof. Yes. Yeah, we're
I hear
struggling
you.
to we're struggling to hear you, bro.
I'm starting to hear you.
Yeah,
Just you
maybe
can
log out
just
and
like
log back in.
log out and
Yeah. All right. So let's go to the next game. Jay, the game against Crystal Palace and Newcastle, John Philip Mateta was someone that looked
Oh
like he
yeah,
was he was going to leave the club, but obviously he failed his medical at AC Milan, and now they bought Strand Larsen, who was playing regularly for them before he now got this game against Liverpool and scored 2 goals. So, what's your take on the situation at Crystal Palace? Do you think he will still leave in the summer?
yeah. I heard. I thought he was going to AC Milan, but it didn't happen in the. But I didn't watch this game. But yeah, I think anywhere he goes, yeah, anybody that can get him, he should be going to Syria, but he didn't go in Palace keep him instead. of him leaving them to join AC Milan.
Yeah. Okay, Ebuka, any thoughts on the same question regarding his future at the club?
I think he might. I think he might just stay at Palace for one more season, and I don't know when his contract expires, so it might still also come back to his contract as an expiration. But he's a very very good, as in he's a good striker, like especially at Premier League level, like very very good one. Without him, there was no way Palace was getting anything out of this game. As a kudos to him, kudos to as in him maturing and like getting it on his scoring boots at a way older age, and right now he's kind of like just bringing up the goods because he wants to get into that France squad for the World
Squad in
Cup.
the World Cup.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So,
that's in his sight.
so Henry, what's going on with Newcastle and Eddie Howe? Like they are continuing to keep struggling in the campaign, and it's looking like he can potentially lose his job. Or do you think with the way they are playing right now and they end the season in 13th or 14th place, do you think he'll still be at the squad for the next campaign?
Well, Newcastle are currently sitting in 14th position. Like I said yesterday, I think Eddie Howe has run his course at the club. I think they should be right now. I think Newcastle should be looking for a progressive manager that can move the team, in a different direction. He has shown that he's not able to manage the demands of being in Europe and also competing in the Premier League. For every season that they've made it to Europe, they've had a terrible season at the same time. And if you're looking to be stable as a big team in the Premier League, you definitely have to be able to juggle the demands of being in Europe and also competing in the Premier League. Eddie Howe has shown that he's very one-dimensional, in the way he plays, in the way he sets up his teams,
Yeah.
and in the long run, it's not very sustainable, So I think it's a question that Newcastle and the board they need to ask themselves. Is this something that we are um, okay with? What is our plan, progressive plan? In the next 2 or 3 years, where do we see ourselves? In terms of finances, and if that is something that they think that we want to be competing, in the Champions League, we want to be steady, we want to be a consistent, steady Champions League team. And I think Eddie Howe has to move. If they see that, if they feel like we are not currently financially buoyant enough, then they can stick with Eddie Howe because he gives you that um, Premier League, kind of security. They would definitely still this season. I think they would definitely still finish in the top half or maybe 10th or 11th position. But again, for a team and the investment that Newcastle has had in the last couple of years, it's definitely not good enough.
Yeah, I agree with you. Okay, so let's go to the next game. Ebuka, these guys sacked Espirito Santo, brought Postecoglou, sacked Postecoglou, brought Shondaich, sacked Shondaich, and now, even with Vitor Pereira, they are still languishing in relegation waters. Do you think they might just be the team that will go down instead of Spurs?
No, there's nothing that's going down. Spurs is going down. Well, I mean, no, as in, there's nothing like as in if they are the team that will go down. It doesn't look like. I'm telling you because they are picking points here and there. They're picking points, right?
Can
But
you see me?
I think in
No,
terms
no,
No,
of
no, no.
who goes
We can only
down,
hear you. You're black.
Why is that?
No,
can you
no,
hear
no.
me?
Doyen was asking if you could see him.
Okay, we
Okay, no,
couldn't.
okay, yeah, go ahead, Ebuka, with your comments.
Okay, yeah. So, like I
Okay.
said, right,
The
as in,
front
I think
camera.
it's more of like Forest being able to like pick points, as in here, there, and everywhere, right? I think they are unbeaten in all competitions in their last five. They are
Mm-hmm.
unbeaten. So it's all coming together, and it's all coming together at the right time for them. You understand?
Yeah,
Nepo Williams has been like as in a very, very instrumental player for them in their fight against relegation. He's been scoring the goals for them, even when as in their strikers seem like traffic cones these days. Um, but I mean, yeah. But when it comes to as in no, so that's that with Forest. I think they should be able to survive relegation, and their next game is against Burnley. Huge game for them. They need to pick up those 3 points. They're also facing. I don't think
I
Forest is
don't
a
think they have easy. They don't have an
No, no.
easy
So
run.
right now they have some after Burnley, they have
no. They
Sunderland
have an easy
away,
run. Their run
Sunderland
is not that
away,
difficult.
Chelsea away, Man U away,
And they also face
Okay,
Newcastle and
so
Newcastle
Bournemouth.
home, and Bournemouth home. It's not an easy run, man.
It's not an easy run for them.
oh, okay. So for me, I think yeah, if they can get the business done, get those 2 home wins against Burnley and Bournemouth, and then get probably as in a point. They should also get the job done against Newcastle. Trust me, Newcastle have been horrendous away from home all
Yeah,
season.
but it's still It's still
If they can
Newcastle though. Yeah.
bro, no, Newcastle. See, Newcastle. I'm telling you, this season, Newcastle is that team that have lost the highest number of points this season from winning
Yeah,
positions. They've lost 25 points from winning positions. Newcastle is terrible this season. I can guarantee you
Yeah.
that. So,
yeah.
talking about what's it called,
Mhm.
Forest against Newcastle, I expect them to defeat Newcastle, and then and away from home, Newcastle have been
Would you
horrendous
rather have Newcastle
this
or
season.
have Burnley if you're Forest?
I would rather have Newcastle presently. The how bad they are. I'm telling you. Because Burnley 2 points away from United, 2 points away from Liverpool, 2 points from Chelsea. Please, can you tell me who Newcastle has taken points away from?
Everything is still on paper. On the
It's not paper. I'm telling you
Facts,
based on
facts and
form,
form.
current form and
Yeah,
facts.
yeah.
You
but
The,
understand?
the,
at,
the, the,
at,
the, the only away game they won was Tottenham, and that
but
was
at
like
the
an
point
easy
where
one for them.
at the
Go
point
ahead.
where they're going to play Newcastle, I think Newcastle wouldn't really have much to play left in the season. Yeah, so Newcastle
Exactly.
season
They
is
wouldn't have much to
in
play.
Newcastle season it's a disappointing season so far. So I don't feel like when
Terrible.
they're only 5 points away from Europe though.
Newcastle.
Yes.
Newcastle is 42. Europe
Yeah.
is 47. But
What
yeah,
the hell?
but everyone around there they're all bullish. So yeah,
They're
it's
only
quite
5 points away from Europe. Two
yeah.
no, no,
wins,
but again,
and it's a completely
What?
different story.
yeah,
My God.
yes. The problem there is that no, the problem there when you're talking about 2 wins, you understand, is the fact that
Everyone else will not lose for you now.
yes,
You
you
don't
know the
know. You
teams
don't know
there
exactly
too.
what's going to happen. You don't know exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. So Zoe, let's talk about Aston Villa. Obviously, Emery is looking for another Europa League campaign, and he just beat Bologna in the first leg of the quarterfinals. Then came to this Nottingham Forest match and drew. At what point do you think would he need to sacrifice one for the other? Or do you think he's in a case where he has no choice but to fight for both at the same time?
There's no point sacrificing one for the other because I think both can still lead you to the promised land, and you're in a very good position. When you look at the league table for Villa, they are how many points? 5 points ahead of Chelsea right now. You understand?
No,
In,
seven.
in, is it seven?
Yeah,
Let
seven.
me see.
55, 48.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So now, if you're 7 points clear of Chelsea, if Chelsea play Manchester United next, and then if results don't go Chelsea's way, Villa plays Sunderland, which is going to be a very difficult game for Villa, considering it's going to be after their Europa League game. But
Yeah.
after the game, they have Spurs, they have Fulham, they have Spurs, and they have Burnley. Any combination of two victories from their next 4 games, any
Yeah, they should
combination
be
of two victories
good.
from their next 4 games, yes, can put you, in prime position. If you look at Chelsea's fixtures aren't easy also.
Yeah.
So again, why and what you don't want to do is you don't want to prioritize one over the other when you like things could easily turn at any point in time. With Villa, you
Yeah.
can just go on a wretched run in the league, and then you have yourself, you have themselves scratching their head because the Villa squad is very thin. Also, it's very thin to an extent. So I just feel like you're in a good position for both. Just give it a couple more weeks, and then you see where you're at. You understand? You could easily put Chelsea out of reach. Villa can beat Sunderland. They are playing at home. If you beat
Yeah.
Sunderland away to Fulham, then maybe you host Spurs, which they should win, and then you go away to Burnley. That can be their Champions League. You understand? Wrapped up. If you wrap
Yeah.
it up early, then you can now just focus on the
Europa.
on the European. See, the truth of the matter is this: for the cream of the cream, you understand? The top four is good for the cream of the cream of the cream. Why? It helps you attract the kind of players you want to attract to really push for the
The league.
league and for the league and the Champions League, which are the two major trophies that the top clubs, you understand, are really
Going
break their
for.
necks for. Any other
Yeah.
team is good, but for a team like Aston Villa, it's good to mark this kind of progress with trophies. I'll give you an example now. Had Newcastle not won the League Cup last season, and maybe they have finished as they finish in the Champions League place this season again. Let's say they finish in the Champions League place, and then they fall off. This spell of very good football that they played is not going to be marked anything significant. It's just like the Hurricane Tottenham. Pochettino did a fantastic job at Spurs. Fantastic job, you understand? But when you cannot really look back on his time at Spurs, like the fond memories. A team like Leicester came in, won the league, won the FA Cup. They're relegated, but those memories for those fans are going to last longer than
Priceless.
maybe,
Yeah.
staying in the Premier League maybe 10 more years. Then you now get relegated. Those are the memories. Those are the things we talk about. The cups you win. So
Yeah.
as
True. True.
important as top four is for teams like Villa and all these other smaller teams, when you have a chance to get silverware. Look, Newcastle did a open rooftop parade in the middle of the season to celebrate their Carabao Cup.
Yeah.
If they finished
So
in
their first win in 70 years or something. Yeah. It was a big one for
yes, so
them.
you get even if they finish second, for example, oh, that's fantastic. But what do you show
For it.
for it? That is why I always bring it back to Leicester. Leicester came, they can show you something. Today, in the next 20 years, that cup is still there. It will still be remembered. So for
True.
Villa, you can't just throw away. It's a European trophy. You understand? We have some top clubs in England that have never won this trophy. No, never won anything significant in Europe. So some so-called pride of cities. You see, at the pride of London. If not, if you see
If you want to
this trophy,
talk to me direct. Don't go through the corners. This man.
my bad, my bad.
All right, Harry. Let's talk about this West Ham. Espirito Santo has always prided himself in his kind of football, but he has really had his struggles in West Ham. Then there's a Wolves side that trying to pick form to a certain degree, only to now come to this game and get smashed by West Ham. How big of a win was this for the Hammers, Henry?
Massive, very massive. In context of the Premier League table, and that lifts them up into 17th position, if I'm correct.
Mm-hmm.
Getting out of the relegation zone, and looking at the result today, Spurs lost to Sunderland. So in hindsight, that was a very very massive win for West Ham. Again, you could see it in the attitude in during the game. They knew they had a goal, and they executed the plan exactly the way they wanted it to be. And that was something that I expected from Arsenal, going into that game against Bournemouth. You know exactly what you have to do. It's right in front of you. You go for it. And it was very disappointing the way they approached the game. But again, and if you look at West Ham and in that game against Wolves, there was only going to be one winner in that game because it was a complete um, 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 whitewash, from West Ham there. So kudos to Espirito Santo, who is known for his very he keeps things compact, tight. You can't play for a Nuno team, where you don't run, you don't work for the team, and you can see in comparison to what West Ham were under Graham Potter and what they are right now, it's just a massive
Night and day,
difference
yeah.
between night and day. So kudos to Espirito Santo for what he has done so far at West Ham.
Yeah, awesome. Ebuka, so they sold Lucas Paqueta, the betting man, to Flamengo in the January transfer window, and they brought in Tati Castellanos and Pablo. Obviously, they still had Somerville who had a great vein of fun at some point for getting that injury. But Tati actually scored 2 goals in this win against Wolves. When he has his first full campaign next year, how many goals do you think he can score for West Ham in the Premier League if they stay up?
I think as in probably double digits because you can see him. He's a fighter. Like he's a fighter, unlike Paqueta, who doesn't even seem
Have
interested.
a
Like
luxury
he wants to
player.
be at West. Exactly. He doesn't. Like if you are fighting the relegation battle, you don't need somebody like Paqueta. He's not ready to go down fighting. He's just, you know what? Let me just do this and go home and get paid. That's and I don't know. That's how I see him. Unfortunately, with his attitude, his character, he has literally played himself out of Brazil's national team for the World Cup, especially with his move to Flamengo. Another player that, as in, I would give it up to West Ham, as in for them to, as in terms of recruitment, is Pablo. That Pablo guy, as in from Portuguese, I don't know, but he's a fighter also. He's a fighter also. West Ham should be thankful they had Christian Somerville back for this game.
Yeah.
It was really, really important. Without Somerville, because I saw the game, without Somerville, as in basically putting Wolves on toast, pressing
That boy
from
is
the
good
front,
though.
I think it might, yeah, I think it might have been difficult for them getting a result. But Somerville was immense. Like he was really, really good. And the longer Somerville stays fit, I think, yeah, the increasing likelihood that West Ham will definitely survive
Awesome,
relegation.
awesome. So we're going to the final game before we talk about the Man U Leeds preview. Do we, there was so much drama around Spurs when they signed Tudor from Juventus after he got sacked. And he kind of took them to the trenches before they now sacked him and they put on the Zebi. So the Zebi has came to the club, brought us his first tactics, obviously he lost to Sunderland. Do you think he still has what it takes to save them, or just basically a daunting task from the onset? Do you hear with us?
Yeah. I went off and I just came back now.
Oh, yeah, okay. I'm basically asking you about the Zebi. That do you think he has what it takes to keep Spurs in the Premier League?
I don't think sports staying in the Premier League is going to come down to any coach. That's just personally what I think. I think
That's
sports
it.
yeah, I think then going down or staying up is going to come down to the players and the attitude of the players.
That is just
Uh,
it.
I look at Spurs and then I see a team that they are, they don't have that fight, that collective fight. Now, individuals may have, may show it here and there, but they don't fight for the next man.
You just
I
got
don't know
it.
if it makes sense. They don't fight for the next man. Every fight is it almost feels a bit individual. When I watch them,
Individual.
Yeah.
the problem, the bigger problems come from the more senior players that you don't even expect.
Van de Ven,
The
Romero,
attitude,
yeah.
yes, yeah, the attitude
Exactly.
from Van de Ven, Romero. You see Romero do some things on the pitch, and you're watching and you're just like, how are the players around him? Going every game you go in with Romero playing, you're not even sure if you're going to complete the game. You understand with your 11 players.
Yeah.
He's that rash. So
Very aggressive.
when yeah, when I started suspecting that look, it's beyond a coaching issue was in Tudor's first game in charge when he was urging Van de Ven to push up against
Yeah,
Arsenal. He was urging
and
him
it
to
was, it
push
was
up,
very
to push
casual.
up. Yes, and not just casual. He was very dismissive. It was as if you are not even speaking to me. You understand? So it was almost as if now. Bear in mind, this is the new manager. We hear this new manager bounce. When the new manager comes, everybody wants to try to impress the new manager.
bro.
You
But
see
it
what I'm
What
talking about?
do you
was
think?
You want to
it
try
was the
to
other
impress the
way.
new manager, with effort and all this. Everybody's trying to, because it's an opportunity for me to get more games, and
Yeah.
things like that. But
Like a blank slate.
yes, but when I saw that happen, that's when I knew that, like, again, but it would be difficult for them to just admit that at that point, Tudor needed to go because it was still too early. But when I saw it, I was just like, this is not going to work. Because clearly, for a new manager to be unable to get through to, okay,
To
at
his
least
players.
try what I'm saying. When what I'm saying is not working, then you can now tune out
Exactly.
my voice. But from the onset, my voice just never really penetrated. You
No,
understand? So, and for it to be from one of the more, like I said something. I said, look, as a Liverpool supporter, if Spurs go down, I don't want to go to Spurs to pick players because of the attitude of those players in Spurs. Like,
the
it's not,
mentality.
yes, it's not a club you want to go. So now, my point is just the quality is there. From
Yeah,
all the teams passing relegations, yeah,
but mentality is the issue. The
yes,
mentality.
exactly. How they
Yeah,
play together. So
yeah,
for the
because really,
and if
I agree with you because if you see how West Ham players play for each other, even Wolves, even Burnley, even Nottingham Forest, with the amount of coaches they've sacked and whatnot, but Spurs is just so like vibes and whatnot.
there's a disconnect. You understand? There's a disconnect somewhere. You understand? You get so. Anyways, it may be from the top. You understand? From maybe the owner. And those are the kind of issues that ownership can have. You have it permeate, down through the squad and everything, and then the senior players that should be, kicking others on, like, dragging others by the scruff of their neck.
Yeah, but
They're
but,
even
but,
the
the,
ones that
but
are
the, the
having.
funny thing was that the man who was trying to take them to the promised land, Danny Levy, they ousted him out and replaced him with our double agent, Vinay from Arsenal, who is now really wrecking things for them. So kudos to Vinay for being a good double agent. Between the Lord's work there, man.
If
No,
they
the
want,
thing, so
Go ahead, Ebuka.
so the thing with the thing with Spurs is at this point in time, like I do not understand. You have 7 games to go to secure Premier League survival, and who you went for was the Zerbi. Can anybody tell me how that decision makes sense? You needed a survival
Allardyce.
specialist. That see, no, not
Sean
even
Dyche.
Allardyce. You can bring in somebody. You can bring in somebody like Harry Redknapp. You could bring in somebody like
Redknapp has not been in the
Ryan
game for
Mason.
a
You
while.
could even bring in Ledley King,
What?
somebody who
Ledley King?
understands what it means. I'm telling you, bro. At this point, you just need
Well,
somebody who understands what playing for the club is about. Like
Yeah, but
it's
then again, Newcastle
but
got
that
Shearer and they
hasn't
still got
always
relegated
it
now.
hasn't always worked now. It's not that you
no.
need
See,
more than passion.
Yeah.
no, bro. At this point,
hey, no,
you've tried
Ebuka,
everything.
Ebuka,
You've tried everything.
Ebuka, see the difference. Ebuka, see the difference. The difference is there is Spurs. If you want to talk about what playing for Spurs is like, they should have gone to the 70s to go and bring those players back because Spurs in recent time has been failure.
I see.
You're bringing in
No,
who are you bringing
no,
back
no.
to come and tell you
See,
what playing for Spurs? Playing for Spurs is what? It's
See,
not like it's basically this is what playing for Spurs. These players are showing
I
you exactly what
understand you.
playing for
I
Spurs
understand what you're
is.
talking about, right? But this point, right? If you saw that game today against Sunderland, like the players were literally crying after full time. You still have 6 games to play. You are crying. Why are you crying?
Look, the challenge why I don't fall bringing in Deserbi is you have to try to bring in a manager that can to an extent suit some of the qualities that you have
Yeah,
in your side.
especially if their
When you
egos.
look at Spurs, yeah, when you look at Spurs, if you bring in a player like Sean Dyche and others, and you're coming there to come and preach, look, Spurs can survive relegation not by being ultra defensive to try to nick a goal. They can survive relegation by
Actually
their
playing good
attack, yeah,
football.
like the attacking game. You understand the attacking game picking up and then
Okay.
eking out some crucial results with the attack. When you're talking about a team like Everton or some of these other lower end sports, then you're not talking about when you preach that defense as deep as you want to defend and it can get through. Tottenham, it's not going like it's not.
But
But I
the
have a
attack,
question.
It's
I
not
have a
going to
question
get
for
to.
you, though.
what the attack are you talking about? These guys aren't even scoring goals, right? They're
So
not
that's
scoring.
what. So that's why you can now bring in a De Zerbi, you understand, to try and see if he can at least get them firing to an extent, because that is where most of. I don't. Romero and Van der Ven, Romero can get injured here and there, and outside Romero, you understand. I don't really like a lot of the players Spurs have in terms of the way they play defensively and everything. I don't really like Romero defensively. I'm not a big fan of Van der Ven defensively. You understand? You have Pedro Poro and you have what they call it
Udogi.
on the left. What's
Udogi,
Can,
you
Udogi.
know? Those,
can I
they
ask
are
a
not they
question?
are not great. Yes,
Go ahead, Henry.
So yeah, if you look at what Spurs started the season with, the way they're structured under Thomas Frank, and then recently under Igor Tudor, and then bringing in De Zerbi, who is completely um miles apart, in terms of footballing philosophy. And then going into the last 6 games of the season, how do you think that they're able to cope with the clash of philosophies, considering right now what they need? Um,
See, that's the reason. That's the reason why.
I don't think this is an adaptation phase for them. I don't think you need to go with
Let
an
me answer your
adaptation
question.
phase right now.
Let me answer your question, right? That's the reason why I am completely, and I still say this, I am completely against managers or people who say a manager should be given time and players. That has never ever. And why do I say that? Right? They brought in Thomas Frank. It was clear as glass in November that Thomas
Yes, we
Frank would not
start.
work
Yeah.
at
Especially
Spurs.
after that, not London Derby.
Exactly.
Yeah.
After that, not long, it was as clear as glass. November, Frank, they should have fired Frank in November. But what did Spurs fans say? We should give him time. We should give him this season. We're in a rebuilding phase. As in, this is a project. Bro, your project has literally almost gotten you.
but if
It's getting you relegated.
but if since they sacked Thomas Frank,
Frank.
Tottenham are actually the main reason why they are not even in the relegation zone is mostly because of the results they picked up when Thomas Frank was even manager. That's the truth.
Exactly.
Since they
Yeah.
sacked him,
Yeah.
they've been worse off since they sacked Thomas Frank.
Yeah, because Tudor have been horrible as well. Yeah, I agree, man. So guys, let's go to the next
It's
phase.
a mess. It's a
Yeah,
mess
it's,
at
it's, it's
Spurs.
a
It's a
big
mess.
mess.
And they won't survive relegation.
Yeah.
They won't survive relegation.
Okay, so we have one fixture left. Ebuka, do you want to preview this fixture for us as a Man United fan?
Yeah, quick one. As in good old rivalry between United and Leeds, basically stemming from as in the War of the Roses. It should be as in an intense game. If United, I think the last time United played the game was 23 days back, and yeah, it's as a result of fuck Ruben Amorim. I always say it, fuck Ruben Amorim. They
Yeah,
can't
yeah,
win
yeah.
again. 23 days back, and I think the last time this happened that we played the game 18 days ago was that game we played against Everton. We were kind of like very like a daisical before Chesco just like scored as in that goal. If we approach this game the same way we did against Everton in a like a daisical manner and not being intense, Leeds might just come like true as in first, and then we would need to respond. So it's about how do United start the game. If we start very intense, then yeah, I think yeah, we're gonna like defeat Leeds and probably 2 goals to nil. But if we bring the like a daisical approach that I've seen in a couple of games, especially when there's been a huge as in gap as in between games, that happened against Newcastle, that happened against Everton. If we start our games like that, I see Leeds getting the first goal, and it might just be difficult getting back into the game. That's just it.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's all I have to say about this game.
Okay, so Dwayne, looking at Man United's form, should this be a routine win for them?
I wouldn't call it a routine win because Leeds have proven to not be as easy
Pushover.
as as we first expected. So I wouldn't really call this game a routine win. Calvert Lewin can be a handful. I like the Aronson guy. Leeds are not, they're, on their day, they can just make things, a bit too difficult. But however, Manchester United are playing with house money at this point in time. Most people believe that they are all but certain to make the Champions League because from all the teams that are battling, you understand, they are the ones that have the players that are in the most form with respect to
Yeah.
Bruno. Bruno is playing well. Cunha, is in and out, but he's getting his numbers are up compared to the beginning of the season. Sesko is also
Doing well too.
scoring. You still have Brian Mbeumo. So
That's
overall,
me.
yeah, and overall, there's a sort of feel good factor, you understand, within the United. Like they believe that they are heading in the right direction. They are not in the kind of position whereby if Leeds United scores them first, they will panic because of the ramification, you understand, of this result on their, or on where they'll finish when the season ends. They are already 3 points ahead of Liverpool. This is merely a game in hand. Yeah, is it 3 or 2 points? This is a game in hand for them to also extend the lead. So for United, they're in a very good place. I feel like they will do enough to win the game. However, it's also very dangerous. Like Ebuka said, when you go this amount of time without playing a game of football, you understand it's going to be unusual for the United players, and nothing replicates actual football repetitions like playing football games. So when you're with the time off, it could impact the way they start off. If Leeds get a goal, then it can get tricky. But I believe that United should have enough to come through, considering how they've played recently.
So as in for me, one thing is, as in this game is a very tricky potential banana peel because I think Leeds have only lost one away game from home since November. Only one, and that away game Leeds lost was the game against Newcastle, where Newcastle scored as in 290, as in 2 goals in stoppage time. Leeds were leading 3 goals to 2, and then Newcastle scored 2 goals in stoppage time. Apart from that, in all competitions, FA Cup, in the league, Leeds haven't actually lost any away game. You understand? So, and that's the reason why I'm looking at this game and I'm like, uh, it's like the rivalry is there, and Leeds have been very very good like away from home this season, and I'm like, okay, how is this game going to turn out? I don't know. One thing I'm happy for is the fact that Lisandro Martinez is back. Lisandro Martinez is back. Hopefully, he should be starting that game because Maguire being out as due to the red card he got against Bournemouth. I was thinking, okay, United might have that centre back pairing of Aiden Heaven and Lenny Yoro. But the way it seems right now is okay. If we have Lisandro back, then it will be Lisandro and Euro. And United, we've actually missed what's his name? Martinez progressing the ball from deep. You understand? We really, really missed that part of as if that side of his game and what he brings to United. And if you take a look at United's results, as in without Lisandro Martinez, look at the game against what's it called? Newcastle, right? We didn't win. Bournemouth, we didn't win. I mean, he's very, very integral. We also like didn't win against what's it called? West Ham. So at the end of the day, it's a game where I don't know,
How much
but hopefully,
how much of an
you
importance
say?
do you think how much of an importance do you think the being match rusty in this kind of situation would play?
No, so Martinez is one defender that, as a being match rusty doesn't come into his game, right? He can easily, seamlessly go into the first team, and it was as if he never missed a beat. That's one thing about Lisandro Martinez. You understand? But I understand where you're, as in when you're talking about match rustiness, because some players are actually, yes, okay, they need a couple of games to like as they get back to speed. But yeah, Martinez is not that kind of
In
player.
relation to
Um,
no, you can finish up.
Yeah. So Martinez is definitely not that kind of player, right? Um, so I just hope, I like it's about it for me. It's whoever starts this game, as in with the right mentality, the right intensity, the right urgency. Whoever starts this game, as in is basically who will have as in an edge. However, I do not think United would lose, but if Leeds score first, it is going to be tricky. It is going to be
Considering that they played their last game 23 days ago, I don't know. I feel like there's gonna be some sort of
yeah,
um
like I said, it happened, right? It happened. Like Everton, 17 days in between games. That Everton was the worst start I've seen. As in the worst start to a game I've seen United had this season. The Everton game at Hill Dickinson. The worst. And the only thing was that, okay, Shesko came on and Shesko got us the win. And that was it. And then Lamens was literally making save after save after save. And United got a 1-0 win. If we start like that against Leeds are intense. You know, Leeds will always come at you. You know, Leeds would press like rabid dogs, as in Brendan Aronson, Ampadu, James Justin, Gabriel Goodmanson, Ao Tanaka. Those guys just literally run, keep on running like
well, I
rabbits.
think this
And
is the kind of game that Manchester United would probably like. You know, they love teams coming at them. You know, they want to hit you on the counter. So I think this feels like a perfect game for Manchester
I get
United.
where you're coming. Yeah, but at the end of the day, like you said, the match rustiness, right? It's all about the match
Yeah.
rustiness, as in how much rusty are these guys going to be at the end of the day. So let's just see how it goes. How long is it going to take Enigma to come back? I said, I wish I had the slides, but unfortunately I don't.
Hi guys. So sorry. So
Okay.
sorry, man.
I was just, we were just asking the question that, I said, I wish I had the slides.
I'm so sorry.
I said, let's just finalize everything.
Yeah, that just
Yeah.
that just Nigeria. We're gonna go to our surprise of the week. You know, and I'll start with you, Doyen. What is the surprise of the week?
Is it with respect to results or with respect to? Anyways,
Results.
anyhow, it's going to be.
In game 32, what surprised you the most? Pretty much.
Well, I'll say it's Arsenal losing at home to Bournemouth. You know, again, I didn't see it coming. I expected Arsenal to.
Sorry, don't go again.
Oh, is that
Yeah,
frozen?
yeah, I
Yeah,
think
the
it's
internet
frozen.
is probably good.
Okay, so Ebuka, we'll go to you. Maybe when they
Okay.
come, we'll continue from him. What's yours?
I mean, Arsenal, man. It's obvious. You can't say any other thing. It's as in Arsenal losing that. I don't know how it happened. I just don't know how it happened.
Yeah.
But it happened.
What about you, Henry? Same?
There's not you can't look no further than that game. I don't think anybody saw it coming.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Okay, do you want to finish your thoughts on Arsenal Bournemouth?
Yeah, I say I actually believe that Arsenal will see the game through. Bournemouth are a decent period. That's all they are. So that was actually a shock, and being the
Man, this guy
Man,
internet is just
the
it's just,
network is like,
yeah,
yeah.
it's like the Ben Amor is
Let's move on.
waiting much. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're rounding up. Okay, so injury and suspension.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's
No,
bad.
that is just crazy. Okay, I'm adding him back again.
Can you hear me
Is
now?
injured.
Yeah, you had an injury in the game. Yeah, we can hear you now.
You can hear me. I was trying to cook,
Yeah,
but my
but
network is not letting me be great.
okay, so
It's sorry, it's an Arsenal fan that is on my MTN mast here. So when I start cooking Arsenal, it's just off my network.
Yeah, that's what's up now. That's what's up. So let's move to key injuries and suspensions. There are not much this game week, but he just had one for Liverpool. Obviously, he had been someone you are the Liverpool fan. Is someone that has not really featured consistently for you. So him being out, will it be a miss for you guys at all, or just
Oh no, no,
one less
no!
player based on your depth?
It's positive. It's positive for Liverpool fans. The fact that he's not available is big. It's good news for us. It's positive news. No, I'm being for real. It's addition by subtraction.
Yeah,
It's just like
like
yes,
that.
it's like Kekes now. If Kekes is
Same.
out and I have to play Robertson consistently, I'd like that. Not that I want to do different.
Oh, okay. I get it. I get the concept you're coming from. So Ebuka Romero. So Romero and Kingsley
Yeah.
clashed with themselves. Kingsley had his head busted. I think Romero had injured his groin from that clash. So he was crying actually when they subbed him out. I know when the player cries when he's being subbed, it tells you that man.
It's basically the World Cup.
Yeah. So the commentator was making a comment around the whole World Cup thing. That probably that is why he was crying because the intensity of that injury was that bad. Kingsley also actually had to be on the ground for a while. Even the Sunderland physios were treating him as well. And as you know, Vicario is also injured. So Kingsley managed
He wasn't
to.
taking off.
No. He had a head injury, but I think he's going to go through a concussion protocol after the game because I think the spare keeper was not. They said he was not ready to bring in the spare keeper pretty much. If you get what I mean. So obviously he might still play,
Whoa.
but Romero's zone is that bad.
No, no, if it's concussion, I think it's out of the coach's hand. They remove it from the coach's hand. The physios check, and if he feels it on the pitch, they will take him out.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
it's the medical
So,
team.
so, so I guess it's just Romero and then Jones then. Okay, so
Yeah,
basically,
and O'Reilly. I think O'Reilly limped off the
oh
game against Chelsea.
I saw the Riley one, but I didn't feel it was like a serious injury though. Yeah, I think kind of know that
I
the
think
prior comeback
it
next
was
week.
a
Yeah, so Henry, any thoughts on Romero? The same as with Tottenham, especially in this they are running to try and save themselves from relegation. Is Dan so good
Unfortunately,
enough?
unfortunately, as bad as he is, they don't really have much in defense. So for them, it's going to be a big miss. And I just hope that he's not out for long. Considering that we need him for the World Cup. Because I don't think Argentina has like
Yeah, but
a
but
good
funny
centre back.
enough, Romero in Argentina is a different beast from Romero in
Yeah,
Tottenham.
it's a different breed. Which makes me wonder. I don't know if it's a problem with Tottenham. I don't know if you feel because
man.
him
Spurs are
being
us, man.
Yeah,
him
I
being
agree.
I don't
the
know.
key man for
Yeah, it's quite strange. Okay, so
He plays
let's look at the
alongside.
Premier League. Go ahead, Dwayne.
I was saying he plays alongside Otamendi. Yeah.
Yeah, in it's not national
Eh,
team, but
eh,
uh,
sometimes
maybe
sometimes Martinez as well, Licha.
but the funny thing is both of them are hot-headed. Otamendi and Romero.
you
Yeah,
you
funny
you can
enough.
you can be hot-headed, but you can still be. I don't know how to put it. I don't want to say calm. You can be a Pepe, Nicola. You can be Pepe. You understand? You're
Yeah,
hot-headed, but you still control. You still have to. It's when you're the one having to think for others that sometimes it now becomes problematic. If someone is thinking for you, and that's why personally, again, I'm not tearing up something, but that's why I always prefer Ferdinand to Vidic. The thinker in the back line is always the one that I believe that is more important. So he and Van de Ven, in fact, that partnership it's crazy. But
yeah,
It's a
maybe as
disaster
the leader,
incoming.
then it's a problem for him. You may put him next to maybe Van Dijk now. He'll become a better defender because Van Dijk will be using him. Go and mark it, go and
Sure.
mark it, go and mark it, block the
yeah.
shot, this kind of thing.
Yeah,
Then he
But
loses
they
he
also
loses
have
it.
Senesi, so we don't know how that
Yeah,
will play out.
true. Okay, so then let's look at the Premier League table. In the bottom half, we're still seeing the regulars here. And what I always do, I ask my panelists, looking at what you see now, are there any teams that can potentially come to the top half of the table? I'll start with you, Ebuka.
Hmm. I think a team that will go to the top half of the table in the coming game
Yeah.
weeks. I think Fulham. I think Fulham will defeat Brentford as in their next game,
Uh,
and they should move as in into the top
okay.
half.
Henry.
Um, it's difficult, but yeah, I think if you're looking specifically for next, only at next game week, then I think Fulham has the best chance because Bournemouth go away to Newcastle and Crystal Palace. I think they play at home to West Ham, which is also not a very easy game. So I think if you look at all of these fixtures, I think maybe um Fulham has the best chance, but I don't necessarily think that they will be able to defeat Brentford at home. So I think it stays the way it is. If you
Okay.
ask me,
Dwayne.
I mean, I like Bournemouth. As you can see, when you look at this graph, there's a lot of reds everywhere, and then you see Bournemouth. They are difficult to beat. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
if you're
Oh my days.
difficult
Oh my
problem
to
is
beat,
days!
they are
Bournemouth
they,
goes away.
Yeah, so you're talking about Bournemouth this time, and the Arsenal guy is here on your mast. That guy is just, that guy is just something there. Man.
is
Okay,
it
so let's look at the top. Yeah, so let's look at the top half. And here, I'll start with you, Doye. Who do you think is going to come down?
to come down? Well, Brighton are in very good form. When I look at this list, ooh, I'll probably maybe the next. Maybe Everton. I think their next game, I think they're playing. Is in a way to Liverpool or something like that. So
At home,
probably
at home.
Everton.
No. They are playing home to Liverpool now already.
Are they playing at home? No. They should be. It should
Yeah,
be away.
Yeah,
I think it should be away.
no.
no,
Everton is playing
it's
at
at
home.
home.
In
Oh,
the reverse fixture, you guys beat them now. Can't you remember?
look,
It's
it's
an,
this.
it's an,
Okay,
it's an
yeah,
away
yeah, yeah,
clash.
yeah. 2-1, 2-1. Yes, 2-1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Anyways, we'll
Everton to
see.
you.
Yeah,
Ebuka,
Everton.
what about you?
I think Sunderland. Yeah, I think Sunderland is
Yeah,
the
but their
most
form has
likely
been
to.
good though.
Yeah, but as in it doesn't matter about form. Their next game I think is away to
Yeah,
Villa. So yeah, and Sunderland are not good on their travel.
true.
So I see Villa defeating Sunderland,
Okay.
and then Fulham coming into 10th
Henry,
position.
Um, I don't think anything makes the leap into the top 10. Even if Sunderland loses, um, I don't see any team between 11th and 13th that is going to pick up enough points to go um into 10th spot. So it stays the way it is for me.
okay, awesome. So I'm going to my favorite part, the predictions for game week 33. The last one we did was way back in game week 28, so I didn't need to publish the score because it's
How did
quite
that turn
close.
out?
Well, it wasn't too bad in all honesty. I think the highest had like 5/10 or so. You guys have been horrible. The record still remains done with 7/10. Ibuka had the 6/10 one time, but typically he does 2/10, 3/10, the usual. So let's see whether he's going to do differently this time. So Henry, for the benefit of you, have you done this before?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So you know the deal then. So Henry, Brentford, Fulham,
Um, 2-2.
Ibuka,
1-2.
Doye,
2-1.
two. Did you say 2-1?
2-1. Yes, 2-1.
Yeah, I said 2-1.
Okay,
Brentford.
okay. Let's just hope that your network will allow you just scale through this.
To predict Arsenal
Henry
match.
leads Wolves.
Leeds.
Leads Wolves.
I think Leeds should win that one 2-1.
Ebuka,
Leeds 2, Wolves nil.
Doye,
1-1.
Henry, Newcastle, Bournemouth.
And Newcastle win that one. 2-1 also.
Ebuka,
2-2.
Doye,
1.
Henry, Spurs, Brighton, Deserbi.
Oh my,
Nice.
oh my God. Uh, are Brighton gonna do Spurs a favor? Yeah. Um. Oh, it's a tough one. I think Spurs win that one.
Spurs,
2-0. 2-0.
Ebuka.
What? What? Bro, I don't see Spurs scoring 2 goals like or winning a game like for the remaining of this season.
Yeah,
Spurs literally have as in 12 wins in almost 3 seasons of
I agree
football.
with you, but
And
I don't know, but something in me tells me that they're
okay,
gonna turn this
Spurs,
around.
I mean, the best I'm going to get is a draw. I think it's going to be Spurs 1, Brighton 1.
Doye.
1-2.
Oh, nice.
Oh my
Chelsea,
God.
Man United, Henry.
Woo. Um, difficult game. Stamford Bridge. I'll go with a draw. I'll go with a 1-1 draw.
Ebuka.
Well, this game's going to be a 2-all draw.
Doye.
1-2.
Nice. Henry, Aston Villa, Sunderland.
Villa win that one. 2-0.
Ebuka.
I think, oh man, this is going to be tough. You're right. This is going to be tough because Villa is called. Sunderland are the bad. Villa to win 1-0.
Doye.
1-1.
Henry, Everton, Liverpool.
Yes. Doye is not gonna like this, but I think Everton wins this one also.
It's too clear.
Scores.
Just because of the fact that they're gonna go all out against PSG and try and force that game. I think Everton would have too much at the end of the day. I think it's gonna be a 2-0 win for Everton.
Ebuka.
Everton 1, Liverpool 0.
Doye.
1-3.
Yes, boss. Henry, Nottingham
Yeah, I
Forest.
Don't give
Yeah.
Everton one goal ahead, bro. Guy, you know carry Everton 1 goal. Like how much?
3-1. 3-1 Nottingham Forest.
Ebuka.
1-1.
Doye.
Forest Burnley, right?
Yeah.
2-0.
Henry, Man City, Arsenal.
More. Can we skip this one?
You can't actually.
Bro, you got some question.
Yeah.
Boy. I don't know. I'm gonna predict this one. Just being a delusional fan. 1-2.
Okay. Ebuka.
Ain't happening. You guys ain't winning at the Etihad. But you know the thing. That's not get the result. It's gonna be a 1-0.
Doye. Hit watch.
Nil. No. 2-0. 2-0.
I just hear it. And finally,
No.
Crystal Palace. What?
Non-conformist. I think that is the name of the MTN person in my area. Non-conformist.
I think it should. Funnily, if it's not gonna be a draw, it's gonna be something like a 4-0 or something.
Got them. All right. So Crystal Palace, West Ham, Henry.
Yes, and that's why I go with 1-2.
Ebuka.
Regular Monday night football. Palace 0-1.
Doye.
But yeah, it's gone.
You should have been gone doing the Arsenal prediction now.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, guys. So let's just get your final thoughts on game week. um, 32 as a whole. So, Henry, how was the game week to you? Obviously, it didn't go well with Arsenal losing.
Yeah, I mean, it just showed us exactly that you can't take anything for granted in the Premier League. There are twists and turns, and especially when the title race, it's that close. There's always panic button setting. So, I promise it has given us an interesting game week 33 to look forward to with Arsenal and City there. So, hopefully, we expect something better next week.
Okay, Ebuka, your thoughts on game week 32?
I mean, yeah, as in shocker. I still can't believe. Like I remember just waking up and seeing that score line. I'm like, what the hell is going on? I mean, it's just set. But the good thing is, the game with 32 literally just sets everything up for next week, right? For the battle for the Champions League spots, United versus Chelsea, to the title decider, because literally that's a title decider, right? So it's game week 32 sets everything up for the title decider, European places, and then yeah, as in tasty relegation battles that are coming up.
Awesome. All right, Doyle, as you round up, how was game week 32 to you? Good for the hate watch,
Sorry, what do you say?
as always.
No, finally, let him give his
Is
prediction.
Crystal
Always,
Palace
yeah.
prediction?
Yeah, Palace,
Okay, I
West
said
West
Ham.
2-1,
Ham.
2-1,
West Ham.
2-1, 2-1.
Okay. We didn't hear you at that point. I think you froze out. All right, so
Okay,
your final thoughts on game week 32?
does that smile tell it all?
Yeah, I think it does. I think it does.
Please,
Yeah,
I beg, I beg.
it was a
And he's
The
out
next time
again.
he has frozen again. The next time Liverpool will win is as in another next
you
month.
know,
Yeah, this was a real struggle today with Doye, man. All
As
right, everyone on the chat, as always, thank you so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Before I always hear from our guys. So, Henry, DHS Unplugged, what's up? How's that going?
Yeah, so far so good. I'm gonna be doing a preview for the Champions League games. So tomorrow at least there should be something. So everyone
But I'll ask you a
following
question.
DHS Unplugged.
What is Sporting
Hmm?
knocks out Arsenal?
it's not even unthinkable right now.
If you look at us, Arsenal is knocked out now. We move on.
Yeah, I don't think
I don't understand.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
it's
Yeah,
not unthinkable, but I don't think it will happen. But
yeah, I doubt.
I
I doubt.
know, sure.
it's not
I doubt.
unthinkable right now.
I doubt.
But see, to be honest, right? As in, when I saw the Champions League draws, and okay, Arsenal is probably gonna play Atletico Madrid the way it is right now. I'm like, okay, yeah, Arsenal definitely
May
going
the
to be
best
better.
devil win.
But wait,
May the best devil win between Arsenal and Atletico.
No, but funny enough,
depends around.
Atletico hasn't really been on haram that much again. Come to think of it.
Guy, but they've seen
Every
it
time they
around.
play
But as
a
in,
big team, it's
I was like,
around.
okay, Arsenal. If Arsenal gets to like the Champions League final, I was like, okay, but man, I see.
They will
You guys
lose
are
to
fed
anything
up.
they play in the finals.
Yeah,
You guys
either
are
buying
fed up.
or PSG.
It's just too
Yeah,
much.
I agree.
If you watch,
Bayern.
if you see the football that PSG and Bayern play, and you look at the other side of the Champions League where Atletico and Arsenal are, like it's like
different.
it's daylight and
See, no, let me tell you what happened. I don't know how UEFA did that thing, but it's like the football on that half is different from the football on the other half.
definitely.
It's like it's different.
Yeah,
Bayern, Real Madrid, PSG, Liverpool.
Mhm.
Those ones are playing football on one stratosphere. The other side of the group, they're just playing anyhow football. Like it's not like they're not precise.
Yeah.
I'm
But,
like,
but at least I love the run to the final, though. Because then again, in the final, anything can
exactly.
happen. PSG were the one that
True.
will go business for the
That's
World
the
Cup.
final.
only to play in Chelsea and they lost. So,
Baba, that's the thing with
True,
Brighton.
anything
yeah,
can
let me just
happen,
let me
but
yeah, let me just
it's
get
not
there
looking good.
first. You
But
know,
get there first.
but yeah, because I actually beat Bayern Munich in the group stage, so I have small ginger in my body. But till then,
That
though,
was a long
Bro,
time ago.
bro, that was a long time ago,
yeah,
bro.
yeah, I agree, Sha. Because the same way I beat PSG
Bro,
and she went to go and chop it in semi-final. So there's that.
bro, do you like? Oh, but I don't know what companies do, but those companies, bars, guy, literally, those guys are just sick. Olise,
Company and company.
Olise, Musiala, Diaz. I seen, then you remove those ones, there's still Nabri, there's still Leonard Carl. I beg, I beg. Ah, no, no, no,
No,
nah,
no, no. The squad is crazy. All
nah,
right,
please.
Jay, we're about to roll out, but let's just ask real quick. How was game week 32 for you as a Liverpool fan?
Bro, look for me. Yeah, you're bringing up that one, that PSG. Look for me. Big up to Due as
Mm-hmm.
well.
Mm-hmm.
Enough respect for him. Coverage Scalia is my nightmare. I remember when he scored against us with Napoli. He come hunt us down. But yeah, we have them on Tuesday. That's what we're doing. We use Hugo Ekitike yesterday in our game. Yeah, we won that game 2-0. Fair enough, we never bring him on. So I want to see what's going to happen come Tuesday. If we have
Yeah,
a chance of
but
turning it
yeah,
around
yeah,
and go to semis.
okay, yeah, yeah. But then again, when you guys played in the first leg, do you think you actually stand a chance? Bearing in mind that you guys really struggled against them.
Well, yeah, yeah, we struggle a lot. We need to start defending. And yesterday I see that we start to defend properly now in our game against Fulham. I want to see
Mm-hmm.
more. And also Konate, I need to see him defend. I don't know, man, because if we really want to turn this around, this last leg of the quarterfinals against PSG, we know Luis Enrique play his playing style. They're looking to go back to back in the Champions League, and yeah, they lost couple players like Donnarumma. He's playing for Man City, but now we need to really play. The Van Dijk says he wants the support of us as Liverpool fans to see if we can get the job done. We need to do it. We do it already against Galatasaray, and I want to see that happen because I'm looking to forward to see us turning the tire around come Tuesday, and we need to go to the semifinals to face either Bayern Munich or Real Madrid. They're going to be
Okay.
playing as well. So yeah, so we have to get
Okay.
we need to turn our last leg at home against PSG and see what happens in the Bayern Munich against Real Madrid. But let us, yeah, I'm looking forward to Tuesday to see what happens. No doubt,
Okay.
indeed.
So
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 yeah, I'm
so
looking forward
so
to
so what kind of lineup are you going to use for the game? Can you give me your starting lineup?
it. For me, I'm not sure if Alice will be fit because for me, I prefer
I
him
think
in
he's still
goal.
injured. I think
But
he's still injured. Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, I think Mama Dash video will be still being gold same way. Frimpong is back. Konate, Van Dijk, indeed. Roberts could play as well because I prefer him over Kirkens. No doubt.
Yeah.
Midfield, for me, I want to see McAllister, Ryan Gravenberch, Dom as well, Florian Burts, Cody Gakpo over there as well because I think we need to see Rio. Big up to him as well. He's very young. I need to see him over by the left. Right now, I want to see Salah up
Okay.
top. I want to see Ekitike. I want to see Ekitike up top. But I want to see what the yeah we're seeing. The look of you coming up. He's 16 years old. I think he's still in school and Rio. Big up to him as well. But I
Yeah,
want to see
but
more of Rio. He
yeah, but
indeed.
but
So
then but Isaac is back. Yeah. Do you think he's going to start?
he's back indeed. But yeah, I want to see more of Salah. I don't want, like yesterday, but I want to see more of him before he leave the club of Liverpool. I want to see more what he can do for us. But yeah, indeed, I'm looking forward to the game. No doubt come Tuesday at Anfield.
Awesome. All right, man. Big ups to you, Jordan. Always good to have you, man.
Pick up
Thanks
every
for
time,
coming
man.
through. We'll see you
Yeah,
then.
man.